I betrayed Nathan Torres and I can't live with this weight anymore. Always looking over my shoulder. I won't name him, but the person I got tangled up with is far more dangerous than anyone realizes. Someone needs to know this. Watch the silver Honda Civic parked outside a CVS pharmacy in Riverside, California. A parking lot surveillance camera records the vehicle sitting motionless for nearly 8 minutes before it slowly reverses out of the space and navigates toward the exit. A second camera positioned near the lot's entrance captures the Civic turning left onto the main road. Moments later, a black BMW sedan appears in the same frame, following the identical direction and steadily reducing the gap between them. Further down the route, a municipal traffic camera shows the silver Civic entering a service road beneath a railroad overpass. The BMW emerges behind it and both vehicles vanish under the same concrete structure. When the camera feed cycles to the next angle, neither vehicle remains visible. 25 minutes after that sequence, a morning jogger would report the Civic positioned awkwardly under the overpass, driver's window destroyed, hazard lights blinking weakly. Sophia's video, posted mere minutes before she departed the pharmacy parking lot, had barely gained traction online, but one viewer responded immediately. Before we continue, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. We love connecting with our community. And make sure to subscribe so you catch every investigation we release. The investigation launched on August 22, 2023 when a 911 caller reported a silver sedan positioned at an irregular angle beneath a railroad overpass on the west side of Riverside, California. Responding patrol units located the vehicle with the engine off but the battery draining from activated hazard lights. 26-year-old Sophia Chen, a pharmacy technician living in a modest duplex in a residential neighborhood, was discovered collapsed across the center console. The driver's side window had been completely shattered, with glass fragments covering the seats and floor. Sophia had sustained multiple gunshot wounds to the upper torso and shoulder area. No personal belongings were present. Her wallet and phone had vanished. No shell casings were recovered, suggesting the shooter either used a revolver or deliberately retrieved spent ammunition before fleeing. Officers documented deep scrape marks along the vehicle's left side, consistent with forced contact against the concrete support pillar. The damage pattern indicated a sudden stop at moderate speed. Tire marks were faint, suggesting Sophia had minimal opportunity to brake or maneuver. A fresh dent on the rear bumper appeared to result from deliberate impact. Detectives immediately recognized this as evidence of aggressive pursuit by another vehicle shortly before the shooting. Detective Raymond Garrett, 44, with 13 years in the homicide division, was designated lead investigator. His initial assessment focused on bullet trajectory, wound placement, and the deliberate removal of identification items. The otherwise pristine scene, except for the shattered glass and structural damage, indicated the perpetrator had spent crucial seconds after the shooting collecting evidence. The service road adjacent to the overpass provided an unmonitored escape route. Tire impressions were visible but lacked distinctive tread patterns. One early morning jogger provided the sole witness account. She stated she had noticed the sedan approximately 20 minutes earlier but assumed the driver was experiencing car trouble. She observed no second vehicle or pedestrians in the vicinity. Garrett documented the statement but recognized its limited investigative value. No ground-level cameras monitored the underpass area. However, a traffic camera on the elevated roadway captured Sophia's Civic minutes before it exited. Footage showed her vehicle drifting slightly toward the shoulder, then correcting back into the proper lane. Seconds later, the brake lights illuminated. Moments afterward, a dark BMW sedan appeared in the same lane. The camera then transitioned angles and lost sight of both vehicles. The brief sequence established proximity between the two cars within the critical time frame. Detectives proceeded to Sophia's residence. Inside the duplex, officers encountered 29-year-old Nathan Torres, Sophia's boyfriend, arriving home from a graveyard shift. Torres worked as a quality control supervisor at a pharmaceutical distribution facility. He appeared exhausted and disoriented upon discovering law enforcement at his door. When informed of Sophia's death, he sat heavily on the porch steps and displayed visible shock. Garrett requested a voluntary interview. During preliminary questioning, Torres stated he last saw Sophia the previous evening before departing for his shift. He explained he had only viewed a brief video she recorded after colleagues sent him the link during his work shift. The clip showed Sophia sitting in her parked vehicle, visibly distressed as she admitted to infidelity. According to Torres, he had not contacted her after viewing the video and denied any meeting afterward. Detectives noted his emotional response but flagged the possibility of revenge as a motive. Torres was transported to the station for formal questioning pending verification of his whereabouts. Back at the scene, Garrett conducted a secondary examination of Sophia's Civic once the tow service transported it to the secured impound facility. He documented the bumper damage more thoroughly. The impact showed horizontal transfer marks inconsistent with a stationary barrier. The pattern aligned more precisely with brief contact from another vehicle at moderate speed. Garrett also recovered a small black plastic fragment wedged beneath the rear wheel well. The piece did not correspond to any component of Sophia's vehicle. Its jagged shape suggested it had fractured during contact. It was photographed, collected, and logged into evidence. Detective Garrett then initiated comprehensive background investigations. Sophia's employment history was stable and unremarkable. She had no outstanding legal matters, no documented threats, and no indication of involvement in criminal enterprises. Communication records obtained from her cellular provider showed routine patterns until early morning hours when her phone ceased all data transmission near the approximate time of the shooting. The device was not recovered at the scene or during subsequent area searches. Investigators also interviewed residents in Sophia's duplex and neighboring units. None reported disturbances the previous night, and no one recalled seeing unfamiliar individuals near her entrance. Torres's presence at routine times was confirmed, and there were no known disputes between the couple reported to property management. Garrett continued analyzing the highway footage frame by frame. The BMW's appearance within seconds of Sophia's braking was documented as significant but not yet definitive. The camera angle prevented confirmation of the model year or distinguishing modifications. Nonetheless, the presence of a second vehicle matching the position and timeline of the forced stop warranted deeper investigation. By evening, Garrett received confirmation that Torres's employer maintained comprehensive digital access logs for all facility personnel. Full review was pending authorization. Until then, Torres remained in an interview room responding to additional questions. He reiterated that he had not communicated with Sophia after her video and denied any involvement. His statements remained consistent but provided limited insight into Sophia's activities during the preceding days. Detective Raymond Garrett began reconstructing August 22, 2023, concentrating on Sophia Chen's movements before the shooting. The first confirmed reference point originated from surveillance obtained at a CVS pharmacy parking lot in Riverside. A fixed camera directed toward the rear parking rows captured Sophia's Civic parked in isolation at 6:27 a.m. She remained inside the vehicle holding her phone, adjusting her position repeatedly and appearing visibly upset. At 6:34 a.m., she began recording the video later shared online. After completing the recording, she remained in the driver's seat without initiating any calls or exiting the vehicle. At 6:41 a.m., she started the engine, paused for several moments and drove from the lot. No individuals approached her vehicle and no second car stopped nearby. Garrett compared the footage timestamp with the established time of the homicide. The interval between Sophia's departure and the fatal encounter was approximately 18 minutes. The compressed duration formed a precise sequence. She departed the pharmacy, entered the westbound route, and was intercepted before reaching the residential district. Nathan Torres's interview the previous day had provided minimal clarity. He repeated that he remained unaware of the recorded confession until co-workers forwarded it during his overnight shift. Torres stated he had been inside the facility from 9:43 p.m. the previous night until 6:52 a.m. that morning, monitoring quality control stations and documenting batch processing. Garrett obtained the facility's digital security logs and the internal tracking system monitoring employee badge movements within the building. Both corroborated Torres's account. Additional GPS metadata from Torres's phone positioned him across town at the time Sophia departed the parking lot. The travel time required to reach the overpass exceeded the available window by more than 25 minutes. Garrett classified Torres as provisionally cleared pending complete digital verification. Attention shifted to Sophia's missing phone. The device had been removed from the vehicle following the shooting, but investigators accessed her cloud storage through service provider records. Several unsent draft messages remained. One created early that morning read, "If something happens to me, it's Vincent, not Nathan. He knows I copied the files." The draft terminated mid-sentence with no timestamp indicating completion. No outgoing message contained comparable content. Garrett requested metadata analysis to establish when the draft was last accessed. With the mention of someone named Vincent, Garrett conducted a secondary search of Sophia's duplex. During the inspection, he identified an empty space inside the back section of a desk drawer. It matched dimensions for storing a small electronic device. According to a handwritten label affixed inside the drawer, Sophia had kept a thumb drive there. The device was absent. In her daily planner, Garrett discovered multiple references to financial records, offshore accounts, and a reminder from 3 days prior reading, "Schedule meeting with lawyer about documents." No additional explanation appeared. At the evidence laboratory, the black plastic fragment recovered beneath Sophia's rear wheel well underwent material analysis. Technicians determined it originated from an aftermarket front splitter commonly used in performance vehicle customization. The fracture pattern indicated recent detachment during impact. Using manufacturer identification codes stamped on the inner surface of the fragment, analysts narrowed possible models to a specific aftermarket brand popular among BMW performance sedan owners. Garrett consulted county vehicle registration databases to identify BMW sedans documented with aftermarket modifications. Only a handful of matches existed in the region. Among them was a 2018 BMW 340i registered to 35-year-old Vincent Holloway residing in a condominium complex in central Riverside. Holloway listed his occupation as financial consultant with minimal additional detail on official records. Garrett retrieved Holloway's background file, which revealed several traffic citations but no criminal record. Address information positioned Holloway's residence approximately 12 minutes from the pharmacy where Sophia recorded her video and roughly the same distance from the overpass where she was killed. Investigators also examined Sophia's communication logs for contacts named Vincent. Records indicated she had exchanged messages with Holloway several months earlier. The tone of the exchanges suggested personal involvement followed by escalating tension. The final documented communication between them occurred weeks before the homicide, after which no further direct activity appeared on her account. The discovery aligned with the unsent warning draft identifying Vincent as a potential threat. Once the warrant received approval, Detective Raymond Garrett obtained toll records and highway footage connected to Vincent Holloway's 2018 BMW 340i for August 22, 2023. A westbound toll capture taken at 6:48 a.m., minutes after Sophia Chen departed the pharmacy, showed a dark BMW matching Holloway's registration. The image resolution was limited, but the visible front profile aligned with the aftermarket configuration indicated by the fragment recovered at the homicide scene. The toll system positioned Holloway's vehicle on a direct trajectory consistent with following Sophia's westward path. A second camera located 1.5 miles east provided another capture at 6:54 a.m. This image showed the BMW traveling behind a sedan resembling Sophia's vehicle. The spacing between the two cars changed dramatically across several frames, indicating the BMW closed distance aggressively. The timestamps corresponded with the time frame immediately before the service road exit leading to the overpass where Sophia was discovered. No other vehicles in the frame matched the description or route pattern. Garrett visited Emma Patterson, 28, Sophia's closest friend and an occupational therapist living in neighboring Corona. Patterson confirmed Sophia had been frightened during the week preceding her death. She explained that Sophia had been involved in a clandestine relationship with Holloway several months earlier. According to Patterson, Sophia attempted to terminate the relationship, but Holloway reacted unpredictably and suggested he knew she had taken something belonging to him. When Garrett asked for elaboration, Patterson stated that Sophia had once shown her a thumb drive containing spreadsheets, coded entries and diagrams related to complex transactions. Patterson said the content seemed incomprehensible to her, but Sophia believed the files documented financial operations Holloway wanted concealed. Patterson said she urged Sophia to deliver the drive to authorities. Sophia refused, explaining she feared Holloway would retaliate violently. Meanwhile, verification of Nathan Torres's alibi reached completion. His pharmaceutical employer granted full access to internal surveillance recordings. Footage showed Torres continuously present on the quality control floor monitoring equipment and documenting batch numbers during the precise interval when Sophia was intercepted and killed. No gaps existed in his presence. Garrett informed Torres of his clearance. Torres became visibly emotional as Garrett explained the emerging evidence that Sophia had been attempting to alert someone about a threat unrelated to their relationship. Torres stated he misunderstood the video and believed it indicated romantic betrayal rather than her attempt to signal danger. Later that afternoon, investigators executed the search warrant at Holloway's residence, a second-floor unit in a gated condominium complex in central Riverside. The apartment was substantially empty. Electronic devices were removed, storage areas left open, and personal items missing. Neighbors reported observing Holloway earlier that day loading multiple bags and containers into his BMW trunk before departing hurriedly. No one reported witnessing his return. The assigned parking space contained more substantial evidence. On a storage shelf, investigators discovered cleaning chemicals, nitrile gloves, and a cloth showing chemical residue consistent with compounds commonly associated with firearm discharge cleanup. Adjacent to the shelf was packaging for aftermarket front splitters. One splitter was absent, leaving an empty slot in the box. The recovered fragment from the homicide scene matched the shape and color of this brand and model precisely. Technicians photographed and seized the materials. Property managers confirmed Holloway had not submitted move-out notification and his lease remained active. His abrupt departure combined with stripped electronics and the presence of cleaning chemicals strongly indicated an attempt to eliminate incriminating evidence. Garrett entered Holloway into the statewide alert system as a wanted subject for questioning. Garrett then organized all available footage chronologically. He compiled data from the pharmacy, the toll locations, the second highway camera, and the estimated timelines for both Sophia and Holloway. The resulting sequence revealed no deviation. Sophia departed the pharmacy alone, entered the highway and maintained a steady route. Holloway's BMW appeared on the same roadway minutes behind her, closed distance near the location where her vehicle later displayed signs of forced contact, and disappeared from recorded views shortly before the homicide window. No alternative suspects appeared on any monitored route within the established timeframe. With Nathan Torres excluded through verified timestamps, GPS data, and continuous workplace camera coverage, Detective Raymond Garrett redirected all investigative resources toward Vincent Holloway. The first major development originated from financial analysts examining Holloway's accounts. A suspicious activity report filed by a regional credit union in Riverside documented repeated deposits from several consulting firms linked to Holloway's financial operations. These entities reported no client services, maintained minimal physical presence, and demonstrated no legitimate business activity, yet channeled substantial sums monthly into Holloway's accounts. Garrett cross-referenced these findings with Sophia Chen's planner entries mentioning financial records and offshore accounts, which now appeared directly connected to Holloway's financial network. To determine whether Sophia had attempted to preserve evidence, Garrett subpoenaed records from a downtown bank she visited twice during the 40 days before her death. Bank logs showed she had rented a safety deposit box under her own name with 2 documented access occasions. When investigators opened the box under warrant, they discovered only standard personal documents: birth certificate, vehicle title, and a copy of her lease agreement. The absence of any spreadsheets or records matching the thumb drives described content indicated either removal by Sophia shortly before her death or forced extraction by another party. Phone metadata provided another dimension. Although Sophia and Holloway had exchanged no voice communications for several weeks, Garrett identified several brief, unanswered calls to Sophia's number originating from a line registered to one of Holloway's consulting firms between 6:02 a.m. and 6:11 a.m. on the morning of the homicide. The timing aligned with Sophia's presence in the pharmacy parking lot and her recording of the confession video. Garrett noted that the frequency and timing of these calls corresponded with Holloway discovering his data was missing and attempting to locate her. The investigative breakthrough occurred 52 hours after the homicide. Highway patrol officers in Bakersfield, roughly 140 miles north of Riverside County, located a dark BMW matching Holloway's vehicle parked at a budget roadside motel. The car was unoccupied, but the registration confirmed it belonged to Holloway. Officers secured the perimeter and coordinated with Garrett to approach the motel room registered under an alias later connected to one of Holloway's consulting firms. Inside the room, officers found Vincent Holloway, 35, alone. A packed duffel bag was positioned beside the door. Garrett's team secured the room and conducted a lawful search. At the bottom of the duffel, wrapped in a towel, was a semi-automatic handgun. Forensic technicians immediately tested the barrel and slide. Preliminary indicators showed positive results for recent discharge. Also inside the bag was a disassembled thumb drive. The casing had been pried apart and the internal circuit board was deliberately scored with a blade consistent with intentional destruction of stored information. Holloway provided no explanation for the damaged device nor for the presence of chemicals and gloves seized earlier from his parking space. He was taken into custody without resistance and transported back to Riverside County in restraints. During transport, he made no voluntary statements. Garrett documented his demeanor as composed but uncommunicative. Ballistics testing confirmed the preliminary assessment. The projectiles recovered during the autopsy matched the rifling characteristics of the handgun taken from Vincent Holloway's duffel bag at the Bakersfield Motel. The weapon displayed evidence of recent discharge, consistent with the forensic tests performed at the time of seizure. Gunshot residue on the cuffs of Holloway's jacket further confirmed that he had fired a weapon within a narrow window surrounding the homicide. Laboratory examiners also authenticated the connection between the black splitter fragment recovered beneath Sophia Chen's vehicle and the missing splitter from Holloway's modified BMW. The fracture pattern was consistent and eliminated ambiguity regarding its origin. Additional trace analysis revealed microscopic glass particles embedded in the tread of Holloway's shoes, chemically matching the composition of the shattered driver's side window of Sophia's vehicle. Digital forensics expanded the evidentiary framework. Investigators reviewed Sophia's cloud backups and discovered that 4 days before her death, she had photographed portions of spreadsheets previously stored on the missing thumb drive. These files corresponded to financial records suggesting layered wire transfers and consulting invoices not supported by verifiable business activity. Sophia attached these files to an encrypted email draft addressed to a criminal defense attorney located in downtown Riverside. The email remained unsent, but metadata showed she accessed the draft twice after photographing the documents. A calendar entry on her phone scheduled a consultation with the same attorney later that week, establishing that she intended to pursue legal guidance about the material. The unsent message flagged earlier by Garrett, reading, "If something happens to me it's Vincent, not Nathan. He knows I copied the files," now aligned directly with the financial documents in the draft email. The combined evidence indicated Sophia had obtained information she believed endangered her and that she attempted to prepare for disclosure before the homicide. Analysis of Holloway's seized phone added further context. Investigators found recent search queries including federal penalties for financial fraud, witness protection eligibility, and cell tower tracking accuracy. These queries suggested escalating concern about legal exposure and law enforcement surveillance. Location data from Holloway's device mapped his movements on the morning of the homicide. The phone traveled from his condominium complex toward Riverside, paused briefly in proximity to the pharmacy where Sophia recorded her confession video, then continued along the identical route she followed. The phone signal passed the same toll locations identified from vehicle footage. At no point did the device register near Nathan Torres's workplace or residence, contradicting Holloway's later attempt to attribute the killing to Torres. Holloway's formal interrogation occurred the day after his return to Riverside County. He initially denied involvement, stating he had nothing to do with that woman anymore, and claiming that Torres must have lost it after watching that video. Garrett presented Holloway with the chronological evidence: toll images positioning the BMW behind Sophia's vehicle, the fragment matching his front splitter, the glass particles on his shoes, and the ballistics connecting the handgun to the shooting. He then displayed photographs of the disassembled thumb drive discovered in Holloway's duffel and printed excerpts of the spreadsheets Sophia had photographed before her death, documents revealing wire transfers routed through Holloway's shell consulting firms. When confronted with these records, Holloway's demeanor transformed. He ceased disputing physical evidence and asked whether he was required to continue the interview without legal representation. Garrett terminated questioning in accordance with procedure. The interrogation transcript reflected that Holloway did not provide an alternative explanation for his actions during the hours surrounding the homicide. The case proceeded to trial in Riverside County Superior Court the following spring. Prosecutors presented a methodical sequence of evidence beginning with the scene beneath the overpass. Jurors were shown photographs of Sophia Chen Civic positioned at an irregular angle against the concrete support, the scrape marks along the driver's side, and the destruction of the driver's window. The medical examiner testified that the gunshot pattern and powder stippling indicated close-range firing consistent with deliberate execution. The injuries did not correspond with random highway violence or accidental discharge. The state then introduced a reconstructed timeline. Highway images positioned Sophia's vehicle traveling west, followed minutes later by the dark BMW registered to Vincent Holloway. The footage demonstrated that Holloway's car maintained proximity to Sophia's route up to the interval immediately before the service road exit where the forced stop occurred. The pharmacy footage confirmed that Sophia recorded her video alone and that no one approached her during that period. Financial specialists testified regarding Holloway's shell consulting companies, explaining that the entities had no operational infrastructure yet recorded sustained monetary inflows. The spreadsheets Sophia photographed from the stolen thumb drive documented these transfers and exposed discrepancies between declared consulting activity and actual financial movement. Prosecutors emphasized that these were the identical documents she referenced in her planner notes and attempted to preserve by contacting an attorney. Forensic testimony integrated the material findings. Experts described the unique black splitter fragment matching the missing component on Holloway's BMW, the glass particles on his shoes consistent with the shattered window, and the gunshot residue detected on his jacket cuffs. The firearms examiner confirmed that the rounds recovered from Sophia's body matched the barrel characteristics of the handgun discovered in Holloway's duffel at the Bakersfield motel. The defense argued that the confrontation between Holloway and Sophia was unplanned. Counsel claimed Holloway sought only to retrieve the thumb drive and intimidate her, suggesting he panicked when she attempted to flee. However, prosecutors countered with evidence of preparation and intent. Holloway's rapid movement toward Sophia's location shortly after her video was recorded, his removal of her phone and wallet, and the destruction of the thumb drive discovered in his possession. Investigators also demonstrated that Holloway departed his residence stripped of electronics and traveled north with a packed bag, indicating deliberate evasion rather than emotional impulse. Nathan Torres testified briefly, confirming the timeline of his overnight shift and his absence from the area during the homicide. He stated he misunderstood Sophia's recorded message, believing it reflected personal conflict rather than an attempt to communicate danger. Emma Patterson explained Sophia's fear in the days before her death and her refusal to approach law enforcement directly, citing concerns that Holloway would discover she had copied his financial records. Closing arguments for the state framed the killing as a calculated act to eliminate a witness. Prosecutors outlined that Sophia possessed spreadsheets documenting financial irregularities, had initiated the process of seeking legal counsel, and was attempting to distance herself from Holloway. They argued that Holloway pursued her because he believed she would expose his laundering operations through fictitious consulting firms. Jurors deliberated for less than 8 hours. Vincent Holloway was found guilty of first-degree murder and of killing a potential witness to ongoing financial crimes. Following the state conviction, federal authorities launched separate proceedings for money laundering and fraud based on the documents Sophia had photographed before her death. These records formed the foundation of the financial case against Holloway's associated companies. The case serves as a stark reminder that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Sophia Chen tried to warn the world, but her warning came 18 minutes too late.